Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back. Can we just talk about how insane 2026 has been for anime? Because we are not even at the halfway point of the year, and the lineup has already been absolutely stacked. Sequels that somehow outperformed legendary first seasons, brand new debuts that hit the community like a freight train, hidden gems that nobody saw coming. There is genuinely something here for every type of fan. So today we are counting down the top 10 best anime of 2026 so far. Let's get into it. At number 10, we have You and I Are Polar Opposites. And yes, we are putting a romance this high. Deal with it. Based on Kocha Agasawa's manga, this winter season hit follows Miyu Suzuki, an outgoing and bubbly girl who completely falls apart around her quiet, stoic crush, Tani Yusuke. What makes it stand out from almost every romance anime in recent memory is the pacing. This show skips the 12-episode will they won't they drag completely. The couple essentially sorts out their feelings by the end of episode 1, and from there, it explores what actually being in an early relationship looks like. The awkwardness, the small moments, the way two genuinely different people find their rhythm. It is funny, it is warm, it is surprisingly real, and the supporting cast is full of characters you will genuinely care about. A second season is already confirmed for later this year, so if you have not started, now is the time. Number 9 is Dorohedoro Season 2, and I just want to say to every fan out there, the 6-year wait was worth it. Mappa returned to the grimy labyrinthine hellscape called The Hole, and picked up almost exactly where Season 1 ended. No hand-holding, no long recap, just straight back into the chaos. Kamen is still out there hunting sorcerers to figure out who cursed him. Nikaido is still the most reliable person in a world full of absolute maniacs. The blend of brutal dark humor and genuine heart that made the first season unforgettable is completely intact, and Mappa's craft has only gotten better since 2020. The animation hybrid looks sharper than ever. The mystery at the core of the story is finally cracking open in genuinely exciting ways, and the show is still doing gore unlike anything else airing right now. Dorohedoro has always been one of anime's great cult classics, and this second season feels like a proper triumphant return. At number 8, one of the most unique adventures anime has produced in years, Golden Kamuy Final Season. Set in early 20th century Hokkaido, this series has always defied every attempt to put it in a single box. It is a treasure hunt, a survival story, a cultural deep dive into Ainu traditions, a dark comedy, and a brutal war drama all at once. And it makes all of it work somehow. The final season brings every major faction crashing into Sapporo simultaneously, as groups of soldiers, convicts, and legends all chase the same tattooed gold map. What keeps this arc so alive is not just the spectacle. It is the way every betrayal feels earned and every alliance feels temporary. Golden Kamuy has demanded your patience for years. It is absolutely paying off now. Number 7 is Akane-banashi, and this one is genuinely unlike anything else airing in anime right now. Akane Osaki's father was humiliatingly expelled from his Rakugo school on the day he was supposed to be promoted, and 6 years later Akane becomes an apprentice herself, driven by the desire to prove what her father was worth. Rakugo is traditional Japanese comedic storytelling. One performer, one cushion, a fan and a cloth, and an audience. No props, no effects, just voice and presence. It sounds niche, but this anime makes a Rakugo performance feel like a championship fight. The performances are animated with incredible energy, every stage moment is genuinely tense, and Akane herself is one of the most compelling young protagonists of the year. One Piece author Eiichiro Oda and Evangelion creator Hideaki Anno are both known fans of the source manga. Give it 2 episodes before you decide. I promise it has you. At number 6 is ReZero Season 4, and this one is exactly what fans of the series have been waiting for. After the emotionally brutal events of Priestella, Subaru, and the Amelia camp head into the Augria sand dunes toward the Pleiades watchtower, carrying the weight of Rem still asleep, Crush stripped of her memories, and Julius robbed of his very name, White Fox came back with visuals that are a clear step up, a brand new opening that people are already calling one of the best in the franchise's history, and a story that is darker and more emotionally loaded than any prior arc. The early episodes hit on a completely different level. There are moments involving Rem that had people pausing their screens just to sit in silence. For anyone who has invested years into this story, Season 4 is delivering in every way that matters. Number 5 is Nippon Sangoku, and this is the show that Hideo Kojima publicly praised twice and could not stop talking about. Set in a fictional near-future Japan that has economically collapsed and fragmented into 3 warring nations, the series follows Aoteru Misumi, a young man who believes that rhetoric and persuasion are more powerful weapons than swords. The show frames its ideological clashes as battles just as thrilling as any action sequence, and it works completely. Studio Kafka delivered something visually unlike almost anything else this season, the muted woodblock print-influenced palette with bold line work that makes every frame feel handcrafted. If you like Death Note or Code Geass, the kind of show where the sharpest weapon in the room is a well-constructed argument, this is your next obsession. At number 4 is Demons of the Shadow Realm, and if that name means anything to you, it is because it comes from Hiromu Arakawa, the woman who gave us Full Metal Alchemist. Her new manga adaptation landed at Studio Bones, directed by the same team behind Brotherhood, and it hit like a thunderclap. The story follows twins Yuru and Asa, prophesied at birth to command supernatural creatures called demons. Separated young, Yuru grows up in an ancient isolated mountain village while Asa lives in the modern world. The first episode pulls off a jaw-dropping twist that reframes everything you thought you were watching. Bones brought their absolute best. Fluid animation, fantastic action, and Arakawa's signature approach to sibling-centered emotional stakes is as powerful as it has ever been. One of the most exciting new shonen debuts in years. Number 3 is the most visually ambitious anime of the year so far, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, The Culling Game Part 1. MAPPA returned with a cinematic approach that elevated the series to a completely different artistic level. Yuji, Yuta, and the surviving sorcerers are dropped into a brutal battle royale orchestrated by Kenjaku, where participants score points by killing each other. The arc has divided manga readers for years due to its density, but the anime's direction is so inventive. Each colony gets its own distinct color palette and mood that even the most complicated chapters feel alive. The fight between Yuta and multiple opponents in the Sendai colony is already being discussed as one of the finest pieces of animation in franchise history. King Gnu's new opening is an instant banger. Season 4 has already been announced. If you have been following JJK from the beginning, this season delivered everything you came for. At number 2, and this is not a close call, Witch Hat Atelier. Manga fans have been waiting over 10 years for this adaptation. Kamuy Shirahama's series has won Harvey Awards and Eisner Awards and has over 7.5 million copies in circulation worldwide. And when Studio Bug Films finally brought it to screens in April, they delivered something that genuinely feels unprecedented. The story follows Coco, a girl who discovers that magic is not a gift you are born with, but a skill anyone can learn. A secret the ruling witches have kept hidden for centuries. After a terrible accident, she becomes an apprentice to the witch Kefri. Every episode has been an extraordinary piece of craft. The art draws from Renaissance painting and Art Nouveau illustration. The magic system is tactile and almost scientific, and the show finds real darkness underneath all its warmth and beauty. Critics have compared its animation quality to Studio Ghibli at its peak. This is something genuinely special. Before we get to number 1, here are a few honorable mentions that were just too good not to bring up. Sentenced to Be a Hero was a genuinely dark and visually striking fantasy debut from Studio KAI. Criminals sentenced to endless frontline combat against demon lords. A brutal premise backed up by movie-quality animation. Hell's Paradise Season 2 came back strong and reminded everyone why this series hits differently. And Oshi no Ko Season 3 has been quietly delivering one of the sharpest and most emotionally layered arcs in that show's entire run. All 3 absolutely worth your time. And at number 1, the best anime of the year so far, and it is not particularly close. Frieren Beyond Journey's End Season 2. After an already legendary first season, Madhouse returned and somehow surpassed it. Frieren pushes north with Fern and Stark, and every relationship in the group deepens in ways that feel completely earned. The Divine Revolte arc introduces the most terrifying demon the party has faced. Not because he is loud or explosive, but because he views the humans opposing him as interesting curiosities rather than actual threats. The fight between Stark, Genau, and the Revolte in episode 8 has been called the best animated action sequence of the year by multiple publications, and that description is not an exaggeration. The musical score draws comparisons to Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings compositions. Every single element of this production comes together perfectly. This is the bar everything else this year is trying to reach. Alright, right, that is the top 10 anime of 2026 so far. Let me know in the comments which one is your personal favorite, or drop something you think I completely missed. I read every single one. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you have not already, and I will catch you in the next one.